Design effectiveness. We will check on the percentage of the standard parts and process, time to return to normal quality, number of revisions required for the product division, and the cost of field repair service. In the strategic advantage, we look at time to market, the concept of the market, the number of new products introduced, percent of new products in the overall product portfolio. Then we will look into market impact, which sees and the total product cost, market share of the new product, followed by total product sales in the first 2 years after introduction of the new product or service. So coming to now, as we discussed on the various parts of developing new products and services, now let's discuss on the next topic, that is, sorry, give me 1 minute. Let me check on the, if you can share the screen. Yeah, I think now I can share the screen. Yeah, please confirm if you can see the screen. Can you see the screen? Can one of you confirm if you can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So coming to 16 unit, that is process innovations. Okay, since industrial revolutions, all the engineers and managers studied and designed and developed processes. These modelings, the optimizations or innovations are very crucial to organizations. Okay. Now the current mantra is that innovate or die, according to Hemel. Please remember the author's name here. You can quote this in the exams. Let's look into the concept and type of processes. Okay. It basically deals into 4 different types of processes. And the concept is it is performed through a process of different activities, decisions, okay, through a series of interconnected or interlinked actions to achieve a common goal. That is for an organization. As Zuran quotes, process is a systematic series of actions directed for the achievement of a goal. Okay. So the process include material process, which includes procuring, producing, and financing. Formal process, which includes planning, controlling, and decision making. Core processing, that includes to create value for an external client or a customer. Here, client and customer can be a customer as well. And last would be the support process, that is support, which adds value to all the clients and customers. Now let's look at different process innovation types. Okay, it includes product innovation and process innovation. Under product innovation and objective of innovation, it is novelty, whereas in process it is efficiency. In the competitive impact, okay, competitive impact here means competitive over other similar kind of companies. So if the product is reducing on the price, okay, and if it is evaluating on the cost things. Next, valuation of innovation or the actual value of the product or service. Okay. So in the product, under the product innovation, we look at external marketing feedback, and under process innovation, we look at internal things, managerial evaluation things. Under the degree of novelty or novelty valued or rareness, under product, we look at radical changes if there are any, or exploration of the products. And under process, whether if it is incremental or exploitation again. And under codifiability of knowledge or integrity, we look at if the idea is clear, concrete, and explained, and give us higher outputs. Under process innovation, we look at if it is unclear, obscure, tacit, or lower costs. And under location of knowledge or sustainability, substitutability, technology, if it is, we look at under product innovation as if it is technologically good, if it is separable and independent. And under process, we look at an organization level, whether it is systematic or not, and whether it is interdependent or not. And under types, if you look at this picture here, the incremental innovations, architectural innovations, and discontinuations. Under incremental, we have processes like Six Sigma, DMIAC, etc. And under architecture, we have the business processing trends, whether it requires redesign or SEO or designs, ERP implementation. ERP here means things like SAP, which deals exclusively into ERP. We also have Oracle, which deals into ERPs. Under discontinuous innovations, it is the process re-engineering. If the strategy changes are there, or company business model is required. Okay. And let us look at incremental, architectural, and discontinuous as we discussed in the previous ones. Okay. Let us look into the actions, results, and examples of them. Under incremental, we see the action if there are any small improvements in existing production, and the result will be more efficient operations and delivery of greater value to customers. Example is change in the design of a car engine from or to increase its power and fuel economy. Example from BS3 to BS4, BS4 to we skipped the India skipped BS5 and directly reached BS6. This is all to save on the fuel and increase the efficiency of the vehicles. Also to decrease the pollution impact. So the innovation type of architecture type of innovation, the action is application of new technology or process, and the result can be a fundamental change to a component or an element of a whole business. The example can be shifting the customer services call center to a lower cost locations. That is, we have BPOs, many BPOs in India of multiple MNCs. So this is one of the reducing labor cost locations because of availability of abundance of workforce that is in skilled things. Then under the discontinuous innovation type, the action is radical advances. The result is profoundly altering basis competition in industry. For example, changes in the type of photography that is from analog to digital. Earlier, we used to have analog things where if we need a passport photograph, it used to take at least a day because the photographer captures the photo, he then takes it to printing hub, and then he gives on the next specific day. But with the digital, you can get it some 10-15 minutes now. Okay. Now let's look into different techniques of process improvements. Okay, we have around 8 techniques, all different. Okay. One is 5W2H models, methods, process mapping, Kaizen method, stretch goal, that is Six Sigma. That is one mistake in 6 mistakes in 1 million. Okay. BPR, that is business process engineering, benchmarking. We have been discussing about benchmarking quite often from the chapter one as well. Total quality management and total productive maintenance. In detail, you can just look at your books on these methods, okay? Because at least 2 or 3 methods will be asked in the exams. Okay, now let's look at organizing for improvements. Okay. Several approaches have been identified to organize improvement techniques, and these are envisaged by the modern firms. Few popular innovations include task force for continuous improvement, quality circles, and project-based small group improvement activities, which is called SGIA. Okay. So from here it is called abbreviated SGIA. So just remember this. Probably you will be asked about this one. Okay. Now let's look at innovation diffusion unit. Market study diffusion and adopt to determine if a certain good or service succeeds or fails in the implementation stage. One of the French scientists, Gabriel Tarde, studied dispersion in 19th century and Diane Ross in 1943, which gave it extra attention and strengthened the research on seed uptake in agricultural communities, which laid groundwork for diffusion research. One of the sociology professors, Everett Rogers, provided a complete diffusion framework, and this unit covers that. What is diffusion? A macro process of introducing a new product to consumers. That is, new items are accepted by their target markets. Marketers define it as a gradual speed of an idea through social networks. This sort of communication is unique and it involves new ideas. Innovation diffusion consists of 4 things. One is innovation, different communication channels that are required, okay, the time required for it, and the social system that is for communication here. Skill. And now let's look at impact of innovation. Uh, Several impacts. After innovating, we generally look at efficiency or efficacy of that product or a service. Okay. And how do we look at what are we try to analyze the impact that it has or that it gives post commercialization or before commercialization of the product. So we look at 4 different impacts. One is if it saves time and money. 2, if it increases workplace safety. 3, if it improves the communication of the product or service. 4, if it helps to optimize returns. That is our investments. Okay. And and now let's look at the different steps involved in integral of innovation strategies. That is the diffusion. Okay. The 7 stages include ideathon, incubation, innovation, externalization, development, pilot testing, and full-scale diffusion. Ideathon is nothing but what we discussed as generating ideas, sitting at one place, okay, exchanging ideas. Incubation is you must have heard about P-Hub incubation or V-Hub incubation, wherein you have expert people in different fields like marketing, finance, the venture capitals, okay, or the discussion on developing a core product, okay, into the requirements, taking on the market requirements, doing a primary search. That is what incubation is. Illumination, it includes sparks. The innovator is a joyful, which by sharing along with supervisors and co-workers should learn how to mirror few of their colleagues' enthusiasm instead of doing what most people do. This is illumination. Externalization, this is a stage where it is tested for acceptance. So here, management should help people prepare their ideas for presentation within and outside the organization. That is internal and externally. Next comes the stage of development. The idea that is selected for development and diffusion at this stage involves linking the basic work of an innovator to the applied scientist's work. So basically, this says that the idea which is discussed now it should be tested if that can be implemented. That is the development stage. Next comes the UAT. Okay. That is testing stage, pilot testing. So the marketing development department develops a description on the attributes of the new technology or the product that selects channels for its marketing message. The select channels that is required for the marketing messages, and then it begins to develop for promotional programs. Okay, promotional programs may include the 4 Ps and 7 Ps. Okay, including where to put the product, the placing of the product in the retail sections and other things. And the last stage is full-scale diffusion. It includes search for a wider range of potential markets that have never been explored or not been explored previously, and generate new ways to couple the innovation with other innovation of existing applications or new applications. Okay. Now let us look at diffusion types and innovation diffusion theory. Research on diffusion studies on how the idea spread throughout different groups. Diffusion transcends two-step flow. One is multi-step step dispersion that involves change agents, opinion leaders, etc. Then the diffusion can be expansionist or relocational. Let's see what expansionist diffusion means. Diffusion that expands or may expand, and it requires spreading from region to region in this type. That is, first checking if the product or a service is doing good in a specific location, and then based on the output of the product or a service, we try to take this to other geographical locations. And the contact based on it may be information linked, that is cascading type, for expansion if required. Then relocation. Innovation spreads through relocation as well. The movement of people's moves information. Okay. Now let's look at innovation diffusion theories. The diffusion process spreads innovations in a market, and the spread refers to recurring of goods or services purchases. A new soft drink may have a market of the entire population or a high school students. You must have heard about Reliance Cola, which is coming now. So this is one of the examples. Okay, and the phases include early stage, that is around 2.5% innovators, then the early adopters, that is 13.5%, early majority, which is around 34%, the late majority, which is again 34%, and the laggard 16%. These are the different diffusion types. Okay, now let's see at the factors that influence the diffusion strategy. We have around 11 factors that influence the diffusion strategy, which are both internally and externally to customers. And these are organizational climate. Organizational climate should be healthy. Type of innovation. What type of innovation? If it is a new innovation, if it is an addition innovation, or if it is a slight change. Then the technological substitution. If there is a development in technology, the bandwagon effect, the opinion of the leaders. Opinion of the leaders may change. Okay, and then the change agents, change aids, communication strategy, followed by attributes of the innovation, the CRM, that is customer relationship management, and environmental intelligence. Just go through the definitions of this. Okay, one or two may be asked in the exam. Apart from that, you will just understand that which are internally affecting and which are externally affecting or influencing. Now let's look at internalization. Internalization in social analysis is accepting externally created norms and values through socialization. The standards and values become part of personality and influence the behavior. As the famous, as the definition goes by Oxford American Dictionary, okay, it is make, that is attitudes or behaviors, part of one's nature by learning or unconscious assimilation. People internalize gender stereotypes. Thus, internalizing innovation entails the following steps. That is knowing and evaluating. What is knowing here? Knowing is observing or learning innovation norms or values or practices. Whereas evaluation, that is to understand value or logic that can be accepted as a norm of their own. Role models accelerate socialization and innovation. When a celebrity endorses norms, that is, Amitabh Bachchan must have made few things. Okay, recently in last 6 months, he stepped back from one of the real estate things. So if Dhoni is now promoting a few real estate things, okay, few dreams and so these are evaluating or endorsing by uh, role models. Now let's look at innovation adoptions, different innovation adoptions by organizations, and these can be classified as technological enthusiasts, that is under innovators, then the visionaries, that is the initiators, the pragmatists, that is the Fabians, the conservatives, that is the drones, and the skeptics. Okay, so different authors have given different profiles on them. Okay, wherein on the technological, the response is called as warm welcome. Then initiator is called chasm. Okay, pragmatist is by bowling alley, tornado. The main state for drones, the demise for the skeptics. Okay. Now let's look at the determinants. Okay, of the diffusion process. These are the characteristics of the markets and the potential strategies, and these include different determinants. Okay, the types which we discussed. Then the inhibitors and strategies. Innovators and early adopters, or inhibitors that look into lack of awareness and credibility. Early majority who look into lack of rational purposes. Late majorities those are skepticisms. Laggards who include lack of interest. Okay. And the strategies you can just go through. I'll share this PPT post the session. Now let's look at diffusion determinants. Okay, the determinants include compatibility, which involves conflicts, relative advantage, which involves lower prices or reason of the corporate, complexity, okay, that includes high distributed through high services or using high skilled sales force, using product demonstrations, or undertake extensive marketing efforts. Observability, that can be categorized as low, which uses extinguisher advertising. Reliability, reliability, which falls into difficult diffusion inhibition, and the strategies include use of free samples, like Geo gave initially 3 months of free services to most of the customers. Then special offers, is reduced offers during Diwali time and other things. Okay. Then the last determinant is perceived risk, which falls into higher diffusion innovation, and that includes strategies like documenting success, highlighting endorsements of credible sources, or providing guarantees. So with that, we have roughly gone through the block two. Okay, block two we have covered it overallly, the main topics, because this was told as a uh, refreshing program. So now let's look at block three, which includes units 8, 9, and 10. Basically on the knowledge management, we have discussed in chapter one on how to create ideathons. When these are recorded, it is called knowledge management. So now let's look at unit 8, knowledge management basics. Okay. So the basics include this is an era which brought information economics and labor. Knowledge is increasingly valued by business in the knowledge economy. Skills in knowledge creation. Okay. So if you remember the unit one, okay, we have discussed about creating an idea. So here, after creating idea, we knowledge that is knowledge creation, then knowledge storage, knowledge sharing are crucial to competitive advantage. Internet made these knowledge sources available to all. Earlier, people used to refer books in libraries or go to few authors or few feminists request for books. Okay, discuss on this, and it used to then be manually written. But now knowledge is available widely. So leading firms and learning firms formed and created a field called knowledge management. What does it include? It includes data, it includes information, and all this knowledge stored at one place is called knowledge management. How we manage this knowledge management, sharing with others, developing on the existing products, is called knowledge management cycle. So it also includes intelligence, experience, and common sense. Now let's look at characteristics of knowledge. These are non-depletable, non-depleting. These are chunkable and portable, transferable, globally, sustainable or substitutable, It's a win-win sharing situation for both knowledge sharers and knowledge gainers. Knowledge can be owned, that is, they can be patented. It involves beliefs and judgment. Knowledge is also social in nature and it is innovative. Let's classify knowledge now. Okay, knowledge is classified into two types, shallow and deep. Under shallow, we have procedural and decorative, and under deep, we have semantic and episode. What does procedural look into? Procedural knowledge, which falls into shallow level, includes on how knowledge is involved to do a task that is essentially motor in nature. The same knowledge is used over and the same knowledge can be used over and over again. When it is recorded, it can be used. Just like the sessions now, which are recorded on YouTube. Okay, if anyone misses the class, he or she can just browse it through it again. Then the declarative, which includes surface type information that is available in short-term memory and easily verbalized. The semantic type includes hierarchical organized knowledge of concepts, its facts, the relationship between and among the facts. Okay, it is highly organized. Check, as we discussed in the characteristics, knowledge that resides in long-term memory. Episodic knowledge is that which is organized by temporally septal means. This knowledge is highly compiled and autobiographical and is not easy to extract or capture, but that is limited access. Now let's look at the classification of knowledge based on form and place. Okay, so the aspects include terms, form, place, content, sharing, and application. In under terms, we have uh, knowing how the knowledge is embodied, how the knowledge is embodied. Okay, and under explicit, knowing that the theoretical knowledge is there. And in forms, in terms of form, it is the characteristics of the expert who gives judgment or decisions without explicitly going through the set of rules. It is in a codified form and secured by a process of learning under explicit. Similarly, the place aspect includes embedded if it is embedded in the human mind thought based on their experience and jobs. Under explicit, it is found in documents, various reports, under white papers, spreadsheets, etc. In terms of content, it is subjective, cognitive, and experiential learning under tacit, and under explicit, it is codified, like we discussed in the point two. Okay. In terms of sharing, like we already discussed, as the knowledge is learned directly from experience, tacit knowledge, also referred to as whispered in ears. It is difficult to share across space and time. Hence, it is called sticky knowledge. Whereas under explicit, it is called leaky knowledge, can be retrieved and transmitted anywhere. Coming to the application part of it, individual applying, it has no conscious experiencing of what it is that is causing his or her activity under tacit. And under explicit, an individual consciously articulates available knowledge using explicit instructions, rules, principles, or procedures. So this is something, the concept of knowledge management, which includes three stages. That is the process, the enablers, and the outcomes. The process look into exploration or and exploitation sharing. The enablers look into if it is technological or cultural. The outcomes include intellectual capital or performance related. Now let's see on the significance of knowledge management. It is required as a key driver of new knowledge and new ideas. The knowledge management contributes to excellent organizational practices. We will now elaborate on the benefits of knowledge management functions in organizations. Okay, 7 benefits are identified. One, that provides this knowledge management provides easy access to knowledge. Next, it improves decision making. Third, it facilitates innovation and cultural changes. Fourth, increases customer satisfaction. Fifth, facilitates organizational learning. Sixth, improves performance. And seventh, raises intellectual capital. Okay, give me a minute. Now let's look at the evaluation of knowledge management. The usage of phrase knowledge management was very popular in the late 90s. Knowledge management has been around for many decades, and the evaluation took place as below. First was people-based knowledge transfer. Next, early ideas or World Wide Web, that is internet. Next, the information age or knowledge age. Next, the historical developments in knowledge, and the three generations of management. The first generation looks into if only we know what we know. The second generation includes if only we know who knows about. And the third generation includes taxonomy before technology. Okay. And let's now look at into scope of knowledge management and its current practices. Okay. Scope is under people and culture. We have behavioral sciences. We can check on the behavioral science part of the part under as anthropology, sociology, and psychology. Technological process is another way which looks into information technology and management sciences. Okay. Functionally, knowledge management should be delivering value in any of the following ways. Under strategic focus, if the knowledge, if the product or a service, from the idea on stage to the commercialization part, and if when recorded this knowledge management, if it focuses on strategy or valuation or the total systematic things or the processing include and the technological focus. Now let's look into current practices knowledge management and a few prominent companies of the few company model. Now and GE, as you already know, GE stands for General Electric. It has a corporate executive council. Microsoft, on the other hand, has skills planning development. Ernst and Young, one of the big fours, have accelerated solutions environment. Wipro Technologies, one of the prominent MNCs, has Knet, .NET, and Connect. That is correct actually, but it is rechristened as KONNECT. Okay, and Polaris rechristened it as Polaris School of FT, innovative KSW, that is knowledge sharing and rating, tool workstations, relationship manager workstations, and dealer workstations. Future trends of knowledge management, and this include workflow learning, okay, social networks, collaboration with others and including peers or other organizations. Then under information filtering we have two sections, that is implicit profiling, that learns from what is searched and looked at, or when and how long it has been developed, or to look at what improved over time and understanding all this. Next is collaborating filtering allows us to draw insights and discoveries of people who have similar profiles or interests to the same learnings as us. The fifth is knowledge-based relationships. Six, knowledge artificial intelligence, and seventh, validating information security. Now let's look at knowledge management cycles and different models. Okay, having understood what knowledge management is, it is knowing improves. It is knowing that improves organizational performance and value. Professionally managed organizations develop knowledge management functions to turn information into knowledge. Knowledge management cycles can contain knowledge process. Different scholars created knowledge management cycle and models over time. Okay. A few are knowledge management cycle is how knowledge is captured, how it is processed, and how it is distributed in an organization or outside organization. It encompasses the type of process included in capturing, creating, codifying, sharing, accessing, and applying it. Or again, when needed to reuse the knowledge within or between the two organizations. Four major approaches of eminent authors include one of the eminent authors is Managemnet in 1996, Bukovic and Williams in 2000, McClory in 2003, and Weig Model in 1993 again. These four are very prominent. Models are very prominent because of the following merits. And prominent why? Because of the following things. They are implemented and validated in real world settings. They are very comprehensive with respect to different process in knowledge management. They include detailed description of processes in knowledge management on each and every step. They use visual representations, often which are generally complicated. They also remove any ambiguity that is there and discuss on how to think about and managing organizational knowledge. This introduces an order, okay, an organized order to the management of the organizational knowledge and makes the management of knowledge systematic. So let's look at benefits of knowledge management cycle. The benefits are growth, innovation, teamwork, decision making, and economies. And the different components that include the first stage is discovering knowledge, then generating knowledge, third, evaluating knowledge, fourth, sharing the generated, evaluated knowledge, then leveraging on the existing knowledge. This is called knowledge management cycle. Just remember this cycle. With this cycle, you can just understand on how the overall workflow runs. Okay, now let's discuss on the four models which we discussed. BKMC, that is 1993. This includes building knowledge, okay, holding knowledge, pooling the knowledge, and using the knowledge. Under building, we have learn from personal experiences, learn from education or training, learn from intelligent sources, or like I said, we used to reach out to eminent authors, medias, books, and peers. Under holding the knowledge from people and in terms of tangible forms, that is books. Pooling knowledge, knowledge management systems, both intranet and database included, or groups of people brainstorming at one place and using knowledge in work context. Okay, that is in a process where we are employed, we try to tend to improve. That is in work context. Next is embedded in workspace. The second is Mayer and Zach knowledge management cycle, which includes product platform and product family. Okay. Product family, under product platform, we have repository content structure. Okay. And under product family, we have contents, packaging format, access distribution, and interactivity. This is for users, and this is for sources. So the process includes application refinement, storage retrieval, distribution of it, that is promoting, and presentation of it. The Mayer Jack knowledge management cycle has components like knowledge production, then the organization knowledge, integration of that knowledge now, and it looks at the benefits and claims. Overall, after looking at the benefits and claims, distributed organization knowledge base is created. Okay, this is then tested by business process reengineering. If there is a process that is required some improvement, it again goes back to single look links, and the benefits and claims are again evaluated. Then after the business process engineering, a double loop learning is happened, and this cycle can be repeated again and again to get optimal solution. Bookwood Williams knowledge management cycle includes components like knowledge management, okay, which is get knowledge, try to use that, learn from it, contribute, check on the knowledge, and after checking on the knowledge, you can assess it, build and sustain, or divest. So this cycle can be repeated again. Integrated knowledge management cycle. The components include knowledge management capture or creation. That is the same first chapter wherein we are discussing about innovation. When these are recorded, it becomes knowledge. So knowledge, and when these are captured, it is under the workflow of knowledge capture and creation. Assess that knowledge is created or captured. Check for its sharing and dissemination with others. Then contextualize it. Okay. After contextualization, knowledge acquisition and application can be run and update again. So this cycle can be repeated again and again. And this is the four methods which we have discussed under acquisition, refinement, or store retrieve distribution things. Now let's look at strategic dimensions of KMC. You're all following? Am I going too fast?
No, sorry. Understood that we have to follow you.
Yeah, great. Okay. So let me continue. So now let's look at strategic dimensions of knowledge management cycle. Knowledge is often considered competitive because knowledge can be easily shared, knowledge can be easily grabbed. So when one company discuss on the existing gaps, research gaps, and improve their knowledge, similarly other company can also do. So now, what knowledge management is? Knowledge management may help companies produce new and greater value that makes competitors relevant, not just only competition among them. Okay, like the famous eminent scholar, okay, quoted, that is the Peter F. Drucker. Knowledge management provides a company the window to see opportunity coming and act upon it by applying the ideal knowledge. Companies with high intellectual capital and with intangible assets have high marketable value. Knowledge is leading firms' main competitive advantage. Only with knowledge management and few creative people, okay, a company grows and the advantages might stay or fade. Consider instances like Coca-Cola leading the cola market with its proprietary formula, or it has a competitive advantage since 1982. Citibank has a temporary way to introduce ATMs. Okay, because ATMs were pioneered by Citibank. It lost out with rival banks offered ATMs. After the rival banks offered ATMs, it lost out a little. Then Microsoft's Hotmail popularized, and it lost out when other similar mailing systems have developed. Okay, now let's look at strategic visioning. A strategic vision describes an organization's ideal future. It is a roadmap for an organization's future and acknowledges its values, purpose, mission, and achieves goals. So strategic visioning helps groups internally in an organization or from other externally as well that agree on bold goals, innovative methods, and coordinated action. Companies might also invest a lot on future planning. Okay, like Tesla is doing now. It is planning to take people to Mars, building another planet for another alternative planet for Earth. So without employees and management buy-ins, understanding of the vision, success is unlikely. Strategic vision involves the below steps. History of it. Okay. Analyzing the SWOT analysis, that is strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threat analysis. Looking at the cover story vision, developing a 3 to 5 strategic goals, let's say method, and developing a graphic game plan. Okay. So that is something about block 3. Now let's look at block 4. Under block 4, we have 4 units wherein we will discuss about knowledge management system life cycle. Now we have discussed about knowledge management cycle. Okay. Uh, Now we will discuss in the preceding chapters. We'll discuss about its life cycle. Okay, the challenges that are included. We will compare with the conventional and modern knowledge management system life cycle and the 10-step knowledge management roadmaps. Okay, let's go to unit 11. Sorry, uh, block 4 and block 5. We will park this to tomorrow. I will just brief you on what the units under block 4 and block 5 will consist of. So as we discussed in unit 11, knowledge management life cycle will be there, wherein we will compare with the traditional, and the latest modern life cycle methods are there. And we'll also discuss on the 10-step knowledge management roadmap. Then in unit 12, we will discuss about how knowledge creation is there, how to capture it, and what are the steps that are there in the codification part. Okay, that is discussing few on the Monarchist model, okay, knowledge creation, then looking at its meaning, capturing from experts, then codification part, what is codification, what is the purpose of it, okay, different models of knowledge conversions, okay, and tools, other things. Unit 13 consists of knowledge management system development, that is creating a blueprint of the total knowledge management. Okay, what are the components that we have already discussed this, but we'll discuss in detail. The components of a knowledge management system, approaches for a knowledge management system development, building the house by outsourcing of knowledge management, developing the knowledge management system, building blocks of knowledge management system, and we'll also discuss on T1 7 layers of knowledge management architecture. In Unit 14, we will discuss on knowledge management system testing and its development. Knowledge management system testing, we will discuss on approaches and its logical testing, approaches of UAT, that is testing again. Okay, knowledge management system deployment, that is the commercialization part. And in deployment, we will discuss on any issues, user training and deployment prototypes and other things. And we'll also discuss on prototyping, its methods, merits, demerits, pilot deployments. We'll also discuss on pre-RDI deployment, okay, methods, RDI methodology, its features, considerations, merits, demerits, and post-implementation methods. This will consist of something about block 4. Let's look at block 5, the last stage, the last block, wherein we will discuss about knowledge workers and learning organizations. Okay, the concept characteristics of a knowledge worker, and in learning organization we will discuss on concepts, characteristics, work adjustments, and we'll also discuss on role of ergonomics at workplace. Another role on initiatives of CKO in knowledge management, its reward structures, and different careers in knowledge management area. And under Unit 16, we will discuss about knowledge audit, its concept, how to measure knowledge, how to measure knowledge growth. We will discuss on Bohr's model of knowledge. We will also discuss on knowledge auditing process that are included, choosing the company's focus. And under Unit 17, we will discuss on knowledge management metrics. That is how we measure the intellectual capital, the traditional metrics, financial or ROI, that is return on investments. We'll discuss on Tobin's Q deployment model. We'll also discuss on the scorecard, okay, how it is classified, and try to look at how we can evaluate process. We'll also discuss on alternative metrics, Skindia method, FASB method, and common pitfalls in choosing metrics. And the last unit is in knowledge transfer, wherein we will discuss about knowledge transfer concepts, types, merits, the process, approaches, methods, and making knowledge transformation effective. So this whole PPT I will share with you after the completion of tomorrow's class. Okay, so that you have block 4 and block 5, all other slides as well. You can just keep this PPT for your quick reference. This PPT will be helpful for last minute checks, but this will not be helpful for entire preparation. For entire preparation, you will have to have a glance and just revise on the book. Should that be okay? Now the forum is open for discussions. If you have any specific thing to ask, you can ask me. You guys can unmute now. Any questions? Okay, any clarifications you want to discuss on anything compare with respect to knowledge management cycle? Satish, you have something to
No, sir.
ask?
No, sir.
Jagat, Sangeeta, Vaishnavi.
No, sir.
Okay. So in terms of exam, just prepare and revise on the eminent authors' definitions. Okay. Uh, just also you need to also look and work out on the case studies that are there in all the units, okay, in the last sections of the units. And in every last section you have a summary wherein important concepts definitions are discussed, okay. You can go through them, and if there is anything, tomorrow I will share my contact number. Probably we can create a WhatsApp group, okay, or we can have a common channel on Google, wherein if you have some doubts or if you have completed your case studies, you can share that to me.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, anything else?
Nothing, sir. Sir, tomorrow can you please tell us some important questions from each chapter?
Yeah. Once I share this PPT can be used for your quick reference. Okay, probably on the last day. But before that, you can just refer to your textbooks. Important
Oh,
questions. I'll just share with you after the PPT. Okay. So
okay.
in all the chapters, I share some 4 to 5 important questions,
Okay.
wherein you have 15 marks questions. Probably that can be useful to you. And whatever questions I say, please prepare them. Okay, don't
Oh,
just keep them aside. Just prepare them. You'll have a brief understanding of what is going on. For better understanding, I would say just compare on the whatever topics we discussed. Just compare with the market scenarios today. For example, like we were discussing Apple in the initial classes, we were discussing on the communication type. Okay, where in earlier telephone to foreign countries, which cost us a lot for our pockets, and now it is off at zero cost almost through WhatsApp, Facebook messengers, and other things. Wherein video calls can also be done, but earlier we only have voice calls, so that can be one of the improvements. And also look at how traditional vehicles are there, what are the improvements that are there, the ideathons, and when all these happen. See, basically, this innovation and knowledge management subject as a whole include creating or thinking something new. Okay, we all
yes.
in our day-to-day lives think about new things, or think about minimizing efforts or minimizing the cost included in that, or maximizing the efficiency of any product or a service. Okay, so when all this is thought, brainstormed, or got into a commercial, get into a commercial as a part of it, a new product or a service is evolved. And these innovation things, when the whole learnings are recorded, it is called knowledge management. So when the whole knowledge management is recorded, it is shared with others. Okay, probably that some of it or part of it, okay, been used by different entities or individuals who are entrepreneurs or something. Okay, this can be useful. So innovation knowledge management is directly proportional to benefit for entrepreneurs. Okay. Because entrepreneurs, we have okay, modifier entrepreneurs, we have informative entrepreneurs, we have radical entrepreneurs. So, uh, and in every one of us, we have a little or more entrepreneur mindsets. Okay, probably trying to trying to achieve something, okay, or trying to simplifying any existing process. So this is an entrepreneur mindset. So whatever entrepreneur needs, before the entrepreneur stage, okay, he or she needs to have an idea wherein the idea can be discussed, that is brainstorming. Okay, then it is recorded, then it is commercialized part, okay, which is knowledge again, and when it is recorded, it is a knowledge management. Okay, so it's an vicious cycle. It starts from innovation till entrepreneur, and again from entrepreneur innovation. Okay, whenever the process fails, you go back to the main cycle and start again. So what? That's how it runs. Yeah, definitely. If you questions, I'll share tomorrow. I'll also share this PPT tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So it's 11:26 now. Okay, let's wind up for today. We have covered pretty much today. We'll cover the block 4 and block 5 tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good day, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Good day.
And on me.